Hey, this is Donnie Smith, and I just wanted to reach out to the people in Moore, Oklahoma. I know you got hit with a really big tornado yesterday, did a lot of damage. I know there's going to be a lot of rebuilding, and I know that it hit some schools and things like that. And I know it's really terrible and a very hard time for you. But I just wanted to let you know that I'm praying for you, let you know that there's other people praying for you. Hey, this is Donnie Smith, and welcome to this lesson. This lesson, we're going to show you how to prep a fender before priming. Well, it's summertime, and for us, that means trips to the ballpark, water skiing, and other fun activities we have planned this summer. But we're also going to be in this garage working on the Mustang and doing other car projects and showing you step by step how to do these things.
Hey Dad, why don't we show them how to build something?
Build something? You mean like a shed or something?
Well, you showed us how to do some things, they might want to know too.
Yeah, but we've just done some things around the house. I mean, I really don't know that much about building things.
Aren't you an instructor?
Well, yeah, I'm an instructor, but I teach auto body and paint. I teach people how to paint cars, at school and on video, construction and building things. I don't know anything about that. But I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's tell them about Ted's woodworking. I mean, he's the guy that knows all about that sort of thing. I mean, whether you're looking to build a deck or a shed, chair, or table, I mean, he's got plans and blueprints, trade, all that you need. He's got over 16,000 plans. And if you use the link right here, collisionblast.com/woodworking, you can save $20. Now, I may do this a little bit different than what you've seen, because I actually prep the entire fender, for primer, paint, and clear. If it's a blend panel, I go ahead and do all my prepping before I ever prime. Now, I do this for a reason, because a common mistake I see with students and beginners is they prime out further than they was intending to, and maybe where it wasn't scuffed real good, and the primer gets on top of that, and then that has a chance of peeling later. Or when you're sanding it, there's always a glossy ring around where you're sanding, because that's where it's not sanded well. And the primer doesn't feather well like that either. You'll keep on having that ring till you get back to the area of where it's sanded. So if you'll follow the steps that I'm going to show you in this video, you won't have that problem. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. If you're an experienced painter, you probably are pretty good at getting the primer exactly where you want it. And even though the whole panel is prepped, this is not saying that you want to get primer everywhere either. This is just a way to be safe. Now, in previous videos in this series, we've already done the body work. We applied the body filler, finished it out with 80. We applied putty, finished it out with 150, have everything feathering nice. Now we're going to go ahead and prep it. Now, anywhere that paint's going to get, primer or paint, needs to be sanded with 500. Anywhere from 150 to 500, primer will stick to that. So we've got some of the 150 grit scratches in the putty, and then it'll blend into the 500. Now, where the clear coat's at, we don't want to sand that with 500 because the clear coat won't cover those scratches. You'll see through the clear and see those scratches. So we're going to sand anywhere that's going to be clear coat only with 800. Now, we're going to do all this before we ever prime, and I'm going to show you how. First thing you want to do is protect your adjacent panels. Now, on this door, I'm using 1.5 inch masking tape, and that way if the scuff pad hits it or DA slips a little bit, it's going to hit that tape and not the panel. It won't damage it that way. And on the hood, I just have it raised. And notice I'm also using an interface pad. You should always do that whenever you're final sanding with these finer grits, because I'm going to go ahead and sand this entire panel, what's going to be painted and what's going to be clear coated. I'm going to do all this before I ever start the priming process. So first I'm going to start with my 500, and this is just going to be used where paint is going to get, where the paint's going to be applied to. So I go back past my repair area using this 500 grit, and I'm going to leave a little room in the back for blending. And when we get to that step, I'm going to switch to the 800 grit, because clear doesn't really cover the 500. If you tried to clear with 500, you'd be able to see those scratches through it. So anywhere 500 is applied, you want to make sure that that's painted. Okay, now I have switched to the 800, and I'm going to do just this back area. And you need to be careful not to burn through any edges or anything, because if you do, you're going to have to paint that spot. You just want to scuff up the the clear coat. So I'm going over that area, and if you're not comfortable with the DA, afraid you may burn through, and you could wet sand it with 800. You know, you could get the same results. It'll just take a little bit longer. So once I've got all the areas with 800, and then I'm going to get a gray scuff pad. Now you want to use gray because it's finer than the red one, and it's really good for your edges. You know, your hard to get places, because sometimes a DA doesn't get in the hard to get areas like a scuff pad can, and I like to get the edges extra good, because if paint's going to peel, it's going to peel from the edges. So I'm going to go around the edges really good with this scuff pad, and I'm also just going to go ahead and go over the entire fender with it as well. Once I've got this entire fender scuffed, you know, I can blow it off and make sure there's no glossy spots. If there is, I can go ahead and scuff it up. So I'm kind of looking at it, and once you have it scuffed, you know, basically you have it ready for primer. And now if any primer gets over further than you was intending, you know, you're not going to have that peeling problem. It is going to be applied on sanded paint. Now we're ready to blow it off, wipe it down, clean it up, and get it ready for the booth to apply some epoxy primer, because we've got some metal showing, or we could use self-etch primer, and then we're going to apply some primer surfacer. Thanks for watching this video, and if you'd like to see the complete playlist, click Watch Playlist. And if woodworking's in your summer plans, go to collisionblast.com/woodworking. And remember, if something's worth doing, do your best and have a blast doing it.